William Somerset Maugham, British novelist and playwright. A woman still loves someone who loves her, but the man she no longer loves can be crueler than anyone else. Not only was she unkind to him, and it can't be tolerated at all, she became a ball of irrational rage. It's no use crying if you spill the milk, because all the power in the university are all planning to spill the milk. I could never know. Why on earth do people fall in love with another person? I guess maybe we all have a gap in our hearts. It is a hollow. The whistling of the biting cold wind fills the soul. So, we urgently need a heart of the right shape to fill it, even if you are a perfect circle like the sun. But there is a gap in my heart, maybe. It's just a crooked zigzag shape. So, you can't fill it out. God's millstone turns slowly, but it is ground very finely. Why do likable women always marry idiots? Because no man with brains will marry a lovable woman. He does not understand that on the journey of life, have to cross a vast expanse of drought and barrenness, the harsh terrain of the wilderness. Only then can we enter the living real world. The so-called saying youth brings happiness, it's just an illusion. It is an illusion of people whose youth has passed away. Sympathy and thoughtfulness are a rare skill, but it is often known by those who know people who have this ability abuse it. Sympathy and thoughtfulness are a rare skill, but it is often known by those who know people who have this ability abuse it. Developing the habit of reading is equivalent to building a refuge for yourself. Almost all disasters in life can be avoided. Self-sacrifice is the overwhelming emotion. Even lust and hunger pale in comparison. It makes people make the highest evaluation of their own personality, driving people to destruction. Li Shin is also a young man who is as rare as the stars. If you don't want to follow the crowd in life, he would make such a big gamble. There are countless people who have failed in current affairs. Successful people are few and far between. I really can't see it. What's the use of reading the same thing endlessly? This is nothing more than laziness that appears to be hard work. The greatest torture in the world is, there is love and contempt at the same time. There are such things in life. You meet someone every day for months, then your relationship with him becomes very close. You might even wonder how you could live without this person. Then the two separated, but everything is still proceeding according to the previous pattern. I know I'm going to have to let myself feeling bitter regret for a life spent like this. But I deny that this regret has anything to do with myself. What I want is a costume like this. Putting it on and looking at him was like a punch to the chin. The blow made his teeth chatter. When you get older, you will realize that to make the world a tolerable place to live, first of all, we must admit that human selfishness is inevitable. The edge of a knife is difficult to cross. Therefore, the wise say that the way to salvation is difficult. Some people say that disasters and misfortunes can make human nature noble. This statement is not true. What makes people perform noble actions is sometimes happiness and self-satisfaction. Disaster, unfortunately, in most cases, it can only make people become narrow-minded, more revengeful. A woman can forgive a man for hurting him, but he can never be forgiven for the sacrifice he made to her. Beauty is a dead end dot. It's like a mountain peak. Once you climb to the top, you will find that you have nowhere to go. Beauty is something that satisfies people's aesthetic instinct. But who needs this kind of satisfaction? Only those fools who regard a full meal as a precious meal. We should face reality. Beauty is a bit boring. People are not single, good or bad. Everyone is noble and ordinary, a mixture of good and evil. I believe you will be shocked at first, but when you can face it calmly, you'll be fine. That's an experience that not everyone can have. I've always believed that it doesn't matter what a man looks like. I'm more interested in a person's mind, rather than his appearance. I didn't understand at that time how contradictory human nature is. I don't know how much artificiality there is in sincerity, how much despicability is contained in nobility, or to find virtue even in evil. The hatred aroused in a woman's heart by a blow to her vanity, better than a lioness whose cubs were slaughtered beneath her. Life is a difficult process. It is not easy for me to live a perfect life. How can one hope to teach others how to live their lives? The most primitive nature of man is nakedly presented before your eyes. You can't help but feel fear when you see it, because what you see is yourself. I can't expect her to love me as much as I love her. I'm the comic relief character. She allowed me to love her. This way I feel happy. What is art? Art is the expression of emotion. Art speaks a language that everyone can understand. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but they no longer have love. The most difficult thing for a person to do, it's realizing that you are not the center of your life, and just on the edge. I'm afraid of people who are too charming. They swallow you up. And finally, you become a sacrifice for their charm and falsehood. What I want is something to focus on. Art for art's sake. It doesn't make more sense than drinking for the sake of drinking. People should look forward to the beautiful vision of the future they had when they were young, paying the heavy price of suffering disillusionment. Perhaps it stems from an ancient character. I disdain force because of my pride. Youth is the ability to face reality and imagine, rather than deceiving yourself according to other people's imagination. She originally lived in heaven. Now heaven is lost. She is not used to living in the ordinary world of ordinary people. Therefore, out of despair, he dived into hell. As someone who has fallen in love, the difference between men and women is, women can fall in love all day and all night. But men can only do this kind of thing sometimes and for a long time. He is impatient with life, because he found that he could not express his inner feeling, something that vague impulse suggests. His intellect was not adapted to the expression of his spirit. These people are cold and indifferent when they meet. There was even more of a sense of relief when we broke up. There are two treasures in life. One is freedom of thought. The second is freedom of movement. Let us seek those simplicity, the love of honest people. Their ignorance is far more valuable than our knowledge. He taught, everyone is higher than he thinks he is, and wisdom is the path to liberation. He taught, to escape from suffering. You don't have to become a monk. Just remove the word I. The highest form of literature is poetry. Poetry is the ultimate goal of literature. It is the most noble activity of the human soul. It is a shortcut to beauty. Just walking side by side is a joy in itself. So, to say, the crux of the problem is, you just have to figure out what kind of person you are. This is clear. Your philosophical system will come naturally. They will rent a small house where they can see the sea, looking at the large ships passing in front of me, watching them sail to places he could never reach.